Coming up on WFT's First at 5, the fight for power over GRU continues and key players are speaking out about the issue. Why the next phase of the fight could be taken to the courtroom.
Plus, the accused Georgia school shooter made his first appearance in court today. We'll hear from the district attorney on why more charges may be coming.
The UF weather team is tracking more rain over the next week, when you can expect the sunny weather to return.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A war of words from Gainesville city leaders and the head of Gainesville Regional Utilities. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Nicole Beltran.
And I'm Alexis Vivanco. WFT News was the only station to speak one-on-one with GRU CEO just days after their controversial vote to try and remove a referendum off the November ballot that would give more power to customers.
Let's get right out to WUFT's Kade Sowers live at the GRU Administrative Building. Kade, major discussions around whether decisions with the city and the board can be made together or independently.
Both the mayor and the GRU CEO spoke today on newly passed resolutions, one of them being to remove a referendum giving customers the power to vote on GRU board members from the November ballot. Currently, Governor Ron DeSantis has the power to appoint board members in GRU that oversee the utility's finances, but some community members believe that power should go to the customers. Since Wednesday's vote, key players on both sides of the issue are speaking out about their respective stances. GRU CEO Edward Bilarski spoke one-on-one with WFT News today, saying this issue is not black and white.
There's 40% of GRU's customers live outside the city, had no voice. So it's kind of interesting to hear folks say, well, let the people decide. Well, by letting city voters decide, you're disenfranchising 40% of voters that live outside.
But Gainesville Mayor Harvey Ward disputes Bilarski's claim that there are separate entities.
You cannot on one day be a separate entity and on another day say, please help us borrow this money because we can't do it without you. They agree on most days that they're an enterprise unit of the city of Gainesville. If that is the case, then you're not a separate entity.
Both sides appear to be gearing up for the next phase of the power fight, which will happen in the courtroom.
So with the lawsuit that we're talking about entering with the authority, it's not GRU that is doing it. It's through the authority, which is a separate entity.
No word yet on if or when that lawsuit will be filed, but if it is, we'll be sure to bring you updates here on WUFT and WUFT.org. For now, live in Gainesville, Kade Sowers, WUFT News.
Thank you, Kade. The UF weather team is tracking more storms tonight after an already rainy week. Let's take a look outside at the current conditions on our DOT cams. Looks like the rain is starting to come down in Alachua County over I-75. UF forecaster Ben Gancarz-Davies has been timing out how long we can expect these storms to last.
Yes, we do have that rain coming into the I-75 area. This is just a couple minutes ago. There's a big band of storms over the Gulf Coast that's going to be headed towards our region. As we continue to look at that, those storms are mainly in Williston and Ocala, the darkest part of it, but the whole area of the Gulf South is covered in moisture. We have these Gulf streams pushing the moisture towards the coast of Louisiana, but we have this occluded front that's just been sitting there, letting rain pour and pour down on us, especially over in Jacksonville, where they've had slight flooding over the past couple of days. We have these rain clouds above our campus cam with temperatures in those lower 70s, which is quite low for what we are usually expecting for this time of year. Looking over the stadium, we have that similar effect. You can see rain out in the distance. Those clouds and rain keep that low temperatures for us here. Coming up, I'll let you know how wet this weekend is going to be, whether we have flash flood risk in your region, and I'll let you know how this rain will affect your football activities.
The teen accused in Wednesday's deadly shooting at a Georgia high school made his first court appearance this morning. Colt Gray is accused of shooting and killing 2 students and 2 teachers. The 14-year-old is facing 4 counts of felony murder and is being treated as an adult. The maximum penalty includes life with or without the possibility of parole. Although he won't be tried for the death penalty, Gray could still face more charges.
There will be additional charges that address the other victims in the case. I do not know if there will be charges on Colin Gray. There may be, depending on how the investigation comes forward.
Gray's father, Colin, is now also facing 14 charges in relation to the shooting. This includes 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of second-degree murder. He was arrested last night and also appeared in court for the first time this morning.
A new program in Bradford County is introducing a potentially life-saving tool in several locations in the community. Free Naloxone cabinets are available to provide resources for preventing opioid overdoses. Bradford County Fire Rescue is partnering with the Hanley Foundation to provide treatment for addiction and mental health to make this possible. Take a look at your screen. These are the locations of 3 cabinets now open in Bradford County. To suggest future locations for these cabinets, you can reach out to Bradford County Fire Rescue.
UF students are now using a new feature to help them get to their classes more safely. 2 crosswalks were installed at University Avenue over the summer. And as WUFT's Sebastian Broche reports, the 2 crosswalks and other safety resources cost taxpayers more than $2 million to build.
FDOT's new efforts to improve safety for pedestrians and students starts right here at University Avenue with better signage, better lighting, and brand new pedestrian crossings.
Wait.
Gabriela Goyer's path across University Avenue has been challenging, with reports of numerous people being hit in recent years.
I've heard of sometimes people will literally get hit by the cars and then they can't really do anything because they're either going to class or the car just drives away too fast, so they just have to kind of deal with it.
In the summer of 2023, the project to fix these fears began. According to the Florida Department of Transportation, the project cost taxpayers more than $2.4 million and aims to add raised crosswalks near Northwest 14th Street and Gail Lemmer Drive, as well as enhance mobility by providing pedestrians with new places to safely cross University Avenue. The project was finalized before the start of the fall semester to ensure students like Gabriela can get to class safely.
Them actually taking a step is kind of comforting. Seems like they're kind of listening. So there's a lot of signs now.
Mayor Harvey Ward believes that one travesty on University Ave was enough to push for safer roads.
There's no other word but tragic that it takes death to get the attention of statewide bureaucracies. The changes that you see on University Avenue directly in front of the University of Florida campus are already saving lives.
FDOT understands the importance of improved safety near the university.
I've only had positive feedback. Just being down here, students really appreciate, more additional safe places across university. It increases mobility for pedestrians and bicyclists and, makes it safer.
With new improvements done on this very street, the city of Gainesville will continue pushing for a safer environment for students and pedestrians alike. Sebastian Broche, WFT News.
Alachua County and Gainesville leaders are committing millions of dollars to pedestrian safety through Vision Zero. $2.3 million are being used to fund new crosswalks, traffic lights, and signs for pedestrian safety and visibility. Leaders identified what they described as high-risk areas, including Archer Road, Newberry Road, East Hawthorne Road, and several FDOT corridors.
We have an update on the progress of Gateway project on I-75 near Ocala. Mayor and county commissioners say the gateway should be completed by early 2025. Construction is starting in September, and there will be partial lane closures overnight and early morning through mid-November. Police officers are warning neighbors of a new scam on the rise in Ocala. Officers say they received multiple reports about calls from someone claiming to be an OPD officer and demanding money. They say if you receive one of these calls, you should not send them any information or money.
Still to come on First at 5, an Alachua County animal shelter is reporting it's been over capacity for the 7th month in a row. Shelter leaders say there are more animals than people looking to adopt.
Here we are, 4 years down the road, with endless supplies of animals.
The solution, the Humane Society is providing to help clear the shelters.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Animal overpopulation has become a major issue in Alachua County, according to the Alachua County Animal Resources. This is the 7th month in a row the shelter reported being overpopulated. We went to one place the animals find refuge, the Humane Society of North Central Florida. He loves going to parks, chasing tennis balls, and being a dog. Brady is one of the many furry residents at the Humane Society of North Central Florida. He's been here the longest.
Brady unfortunately hasn't found his home yet. He's been with us for 2.5 years.
Humane Society Director of Development Francisca Raber thinks finding Brady a home may be difficult because there's just too many dogs.
Normally the people approach us and says, I can't deal with them anymore. Here's 20 puppies.
Raber says it's mostly due to a lack of spaying and neutering.
A lot of clinics were shut down. The spay and neuter programs were put on hold or people delayed, and they just multiplies.
The varying breeds and sizes of canine that have come from many shelters lean on Raber and her crew for support. Alachua County Animal Resources is one. It only has the capacity for 105 dogs, but reported 137 at the end of August. Adoption coordinator Melissa Laird encourages people to spay and neuter their pets.
We offer low-cost spay-neuter here at the shelter. We also occasionally get grants so that we can offer free spay and neutering when available.
She and others hope their efforts will eventually help all the furry friends in need find a home indeed. And it's not just overpopulation of dogs. Cats have also been at capacity for some time. Laird says educating people on spaying and neutering can also contribute to controlling pet overpopulation. She hopes by spreading awareness, more pet owners can understand the benefits.
Legislative budget leaders expect lawmakers to remain fiscally responsible after being advised Friday that the state faces potential deficits in coming years as federal coronavirus pandemic money dries up. After receiving a presentation about Florida's long-term financial outlook, top lawmakers express optimism that the legislature will again be able to handle spending needs in areas such as education and healthcare. Senate Appropriation Chairman Doug Broche says lawmakers have not attached federal pandemic aid to long-term projects or programs since the money started pouring in after the 2020 legislative session. Still, Broche is cautioning against overspending.
I would hope that we would continue to be the state that stays within our budget and does not put additional pressure on already overpressured taxpayers as we move forward.
State economists told lawmakers that the state could go from a $2 billion surplus during the upcoming 2025 fiscal year to a potential deficit of nearly $3 billion in the 26-27 fiscal year. The projections are based on lawmakers' continuing current patterns of spending and tax breaks while the state continues to rapidly grow.
A Gainesville Museum and Cultural Center is earning statewide recognition as a historic site. On Sunday, Gainesville's Cotton Club Museum and Cultural Center will receive a Florida Historic Marker. The Cotton Club was built by U.S. soldiers in 1940 as a post exchange. Over 30 years, the building would serve as a performance venue and warehouse before closing in the 1970s. The building was bought in 1995 and was reopened as a not-for-profit cultural center. The event runs from 4 to 6 p.m. and is open to the public. A reception with light refreshments will follow the dedication.
The first Friday Art Walk in Ocala returns tonight after taking a summer break. Neighbors can visit over 30 local artist displays downtown. The event is free from 6 to 9 p.m., but will be canceled if there's inclement weather. We want to provide an update on rumors surrounding the closure of the Florida Museum of Natural History. In the last 10 minutes, we received a press release from officials saying that the museum will close in January for at least a year for renovations. The expansion project will impact 29 employees, but salaried employees will remain unaffected. Museum officials say the renovations will take place to better serve our community.
And a long strand of storms is entering our region from the Gulf. How and when these storms will affect north central Florida, coming up.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Those clouds are going to be showing some rain that's going to be coming in quite soon for our region, but those temperatures in those mid-70s are uncharacteristically cool for early September here in north central Florida. We have rain coming in this evening, coming in for 5, 7, and 9 p.m. and then dissipating after that, those rain chances decreasing as well with those temperatures as they come down. Tomorrow we're hosting Samford here at the Swamp, and we're gonna have just a little bit of rain for those tailgates as well. Those midday temperatures at that mid-80s, decreasing a little bit as we get into the game, but staying nice and cool for those of us who are gonna be outside. Looking at our Gulf system right now, you can see there's a long band of winds of rain that is going to be heading towards us. As we keep looking at that low pressure system coming our way, you can see Williston and Ocala already being affected by lightning and some storms. Looking ahead as that storm system keeps coming this evening, or it's going to hit its peak around 9 p.m. for our region and then continue to dissipate overnight before coming back in those early morning hours where we'll get some more rain. So you want to make sure you have a poncho if you're tailgating. In the early afternoon, it should be heading out of our way, so hopefully the game will remain dry. Now, where is all this wetness coming from? Looking at our map, you can see there's a large area of moisture. This moisture is only going to conclude this occulent front that has been sitting over our region, keeping it very nice and wet, keeping those storms coming. It's going to shift towards the northeast, moving out of our region over the next couple of days. So hopefully that'll help Jacksonville with the amount of rain they've been having recently, including some flood watches and warnings. Here is the region. Most of our region is in marginal risk, but up near Jacksonville in southeast Georgia, there is a little bit of significant more risk there. Luckily, it's going to be decreasing just a little bit throughout the weekend. Our tropical storm outlook, there's a lot of rain, but not too much happening. In the Gulf, we have this orange system. There's about a 40% chance of that system developing into a tropical storm over the next 7 days, but largely we're just focusing on that rain that has been going on. Looking at our 7-day outlook, we do have rain sticking around through the entirety of the week. Uncharacteristically cool temperatures for our region, about 5 to 10 degrees below the average, lows in the mid-70s lasting through Friday.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Lauren Halpern. A battle in Gainesville will take place in a matter of hours at Citizens Field. Buchholz and Eastside are set to go head-to-head under the Friday night lights. Last year's matchup between these two teams wasn't pretty, with Buchholz blowing out Eastside, with the final score being 35-zip. Buchholz would ride this momentum into the playoffs, making it all the way to the semifinals before losing to the eventual state champs. Eastside is now on the hunt for redemption as they have the chance to take down the football giants tonight. They are going to be led by freshman quarterback Andrew Sutherland, who has led them to a team record of 1-1. Buchholz is led by sophomore running back Josiah Carter, who has been dominant this season, currently averaging 113 yards on the ground and has hit pay dirt 3 times in 3 games. Now we head to WUFT sports reporter Amelia Boutros at Citizens Field for his prediction, but he had to get to safer ground due to the inclement weather. So here's his prediction. Emilio believes Buchholz will win the matchup 38-10. The game of the week should be a good one, but the action does not stop there. The undefeated North Marion Colts will take on Fort White. Newberry will play Vanguard in Ocala, and Santa Fe looks to break its losing streak against Union County. Sticking with the snaps, the stage is set for DJ Lagway and the Gators tomorrow night against Samford. With quarterback Graham Mertz still under concussion protocol, Florida looks to the freshman Lagway for a shift in momentum. The former 5-star recruit and Gatorade Player of the Year was able to showcase some of his potential last week against Miami. Though what might have been too little and too late in a brutal loss to the Hurricanes, Lagway was able to make plays. He ran for 20 yards and a touchdown and finished 3 of 6 passing for 31 yards with an interception.
We're to a point here where we're in the season now, and I think one of the keys is that we can flip the script and you kind of move on. It's, it's so key whether you have failure or success that it doesn't affect your attitude and approach. We're battling human nature on both ends of the spectrum.
The Florida volleyball team is back in the O-Dome for the first time this season to face off against South Florida. The undefeated Gators are nationally ranked within the top 10 after opening weekend play in Colorado. The Bulls are coming off a big loss against big-time programs Florida State and Georgia. The home game debut against South Florida tonight begins the 3-day Florida Invitational. The Gators will take on Southern Indiana tomorrow and wrap up Sunday with Ohio State. And one final note, NFL action continues through the weekend. Look out for Sunday's matchups as the Jacksonville Jags face Miami at Hard Rock and the Bucs host the Commanders in Tampa.
Plenty of football to look forward to this weekend, but hopefully it isn't too rainy. Ben, what can you tell us?
We've got high school football and the Gators. Unfortunately, we will have some rain coming in early Saturday and throughout the week for the rest of the week. Our temperatures are in those mid to upper 80s, a little cool for what we're expecting for early September, but with that rain coming, it's to be expected.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and all our social media platforms. Have a good night.